Hey, it's Andrea Goodsaid, and I today ended up in a meeting room. Oh, it's a study room in the local library. My daughter Morgan has decided to do an internship, and I dropped her off, and they had a study room open. And this is the first time that I have. It's interesting to see this happen because it's the first time that I've had the intention to come use these rooms because there's rooms in public libraries that are available for free for use. A lot of times they have whiteboards or other even AV equipment that's available to the public, and people just don't realize it uh, or don't use it. Like I have known that it exists, but I haven't used it. So here she is causing me to drive her to the library, and I thought, well, I'll just take my computer with me and see what's possible. So this is also the first time that I'm doing any kind of whiteboard um, teaching, I guess. And it's something that if you are familiar with marketing funnels, it will be completely, redundant. But if you're not, or if you want to see how I talk about them, you can watch the next few minutes. So the other thing that's cool is it's somebody else's whiteboard to manage. I have my own whiteboard, but the lighting's not quite right in there, so I have to fuss with it and stuff. This room has, I'll just let you look around the room. This room has a window, so there's nice daylight. It's got a table, a meeting table. I could have a meeting for 8 in here if I wanted to, and it's free for 2 hours anytime you want them. So look into your local libraries for space if you feel like you don't have space to use for that's quiet and not got all your crap around you in it. Sometimes that's a deterrent. Anyway, what I thought I'd do is a quick overview, and super quick if I can manage it, of what exactly is what a funnel can look like. They can look like all kinds of things. They can have quizzes on the front. They can have, a free giveaway of part of a book and then encourage people to buy the book. They can be opt-in for a training. They can be opt-in for an ebook and opt-in for a cheat sheet or a blueprint or anything that people will find valuable. A lot of people call it toolkits. Whatever you want to call it that people will respond to is what you want to call it. So it takes a little bit of testing. Anyway, generally it starts with a page. So call this a web page, right? And on that web page, we'll have some kind of headline, possibly a video, that says what they're going to get when they say yes. Whoever says yes to putting in their name and email, sometimes it's just email. Depends on the conversion that you need and the kind of list that you're wanting to build. So all of these names and emails will you'll hook this up to a form that goes that connects to a piece of software it's a web-based software called an autoresponder, and it'll collect the names like an old-fashioned Rolodex would collect the names and store them for you in a list that's specific to coming through this form. So you could actually have multiple forms that go to the same list, but the point is that you're offering something of value. Maybe you're delivering some of it in this piece, or at least the promise of it in this headline. So how to something, learn the secrets, that often if you put a number in things, something, so learn the 3 steps to whatever, easier, blah, blah, blah. Anything that, they call it a hook. So the headline is your hook that is promising people, because you're about to deliver it, something that they find valuable. And the way that you know they find it valuable is they put their name and email in, right? So from there, you're going to take them to another page. They've entered their email. Their information goes into an autoresponder, into a list. It's also sometimes called a campaign, depending on the software that you're using. And so that's your part. You get to collect the name, but also it gives you the opportunity to now send an email confirming that they've, reconfirming, another touch point for whoever it is that now you're going to be building a relationship with. So they send their name by pressing submit. So there's a submit button here. And they submit it. It takes them to this page, which we'll talk about in a second. But what happens when they do that is they get added to your list that you've hooked this form up to, and simultaneously they can be automatically instantly sent an email. Or you could delay it. There's lots of ways that you can configure this. But the point is to continue giving value and continue building rapport and continuing to become in their awareness zone. So they're not like, where am I getting this? Who is this sending me email? You want people to recognize you as something that, they get a warm, fuzzy feeling that you've helped them. Okay, so this next page, often people in the past have delivered the thing, whatever the thing is. So here's your thing, and here's a button to download it or access it or set up your login if it's an entry to a membership area or whatever it is. That's one way to do this. But what people are doing more often is saying, here, check your email. And meanwhile, do this. Here's something else. Another piece of, often a video, explaining, basically giving them some other information that is connected to this. So it's not like they're opting in for information about how to stop potty training and then you're talking to them here about golf or something. Now, you're going to talk about potty training. You're going to give them the cheat sheet for fast potty training. And then here, you might talk about, I just pulled that out of my head. You might talk about ultimately, sorry, this music is not even that loud and it's bothering me. You might talk about a support forum, for instance. Like maybe there's a support forum for, there's a lot of us suffering from this potty training dilemma. Maybe you'd like to join us in our Facebook group. Maybe that's the call to action. So this would be a CTA, a call to action that further brings them into your realm and serves them. So it's not about like trapping people or manipulating people or anything. It's about helping them get more of what they already want. So this person has potty training problems. They might have with their 5-year-old or something, and they might have not a lot of support in their immediate vicinity. So maybe this is a link to, say, a Facebook group. And then they join the Facebook group. So that would be, they get taken next to this button right here, would literally be linked to the group. So this would be the Facebook group page. So that's one way that you can collect an email, deliver value. You're going to deliver whatever it is you promised here. You're going to now put it in the email instead of delivering it on the next page. You give them another video that says, I'm really glad that you opted in because I've had this problem too. A lot of us have. You might want to come. We have a lot of great conversations about the topic, whatever the topic is. Maybe it's whatever it is in our Facebook group. And this would be a free Facebook group where at the top of the group, there's a way to, this is probably a whole other conversation, but there's a way to develop a Facebook group out where just having the Facebook group makes you the authority. And once you're the authority, you begin to gather the eyeballs. So you're gathering eyeballs, you get to where you have, say, 1,000 parents who are having this challenge and having this conversation. And so then you have this Facebook group and ideally a list so you can continue building your list. So let's say this is the Facebook group. This is a bigger version of the same thing. Let me not do that. So this is your Facebook group, and here you can, you're gathering eyeballs. This is the whole name of the game, is gathering eyeballs, building rapport, and this is not the only place you can take people. I mean, a lot of people don't want to have that kind of continued responsibility for the social interaction and stuff. This is just an example of how one type of funnel can work. It could go from here to an appointment page. You know, you might really want to talk to somebody professionally. That's me. Appointment page. It might go to a webinar that expands on the conversation. I don't know, the potty training is the best example for that, but what I end up, the space that I work in is make money online, so it would be all related to make money online stuff. But the point of all of this, the email building and email list building and the Facebook group or anything else that you deliver, so maybe it begins a series of, maybe this is a promise for a series of videos. Could be a promise for a series of videos. And then you deliver the first video here, and then they can skip to the second video, or you also deliver it redundantly in the email that they're going to get right away, and then the next day, and then the next day, and the next day. So you would build an email series out here. Day 2, day 3. And don't get too crazy about this part yet unless you're specifically promised a series of videos or information over time, because if this changes, then this will have to change. So until you're getting conversions on the opt-in, getting really deep into this email follow-up, the static ones, the follow-up series, is a mistake because you will not necessarily be delivering whatever the promise is. So whatever it is that people end up converting on, and they may not convert on the first thing that you pick, that's what you want to be including in the email. So what I've always done is actually only make one email, a single email, not even a second and third day for most of the time, and then do what they call broadcasts. Can you still see down here? Broadcasts. So these are more like one-off daily newsletter type things, or maybe not daily, but daily ideally, to keep current and keep the energy up and keep the rapport building. Does that make sense? So what you're doing is you're building rapport, you're gathering eyeballs, and so let's say your Facebook group or whatever it is, maybe it's your list and or your list, probably both of them will be building simultaneously, get to be 1,000 people. That's 1,000 people that you've delivered value to, who now you can say, hey, I saw this cool new potty chair. How about a bunch of us get together and give it a try? Or I tried it already, and it's really working out well. It becomes the way that people are all doing the same thing at the same time and getting results and having feedback around. So let's say you're not selling potty remedies, you're doing make money online. So maybe you say, I've always done the let's try things together way, because, and it seems a little weird because I actually sell things that I haven't necessarily used yet, because I have the confidence that I can go through the material and implement it. Whether it's excellent or not, I'll always find something of value inside of it, if that makes sense. And meanwhile, I personally can deliver value to the people who shop with me, who buy through me, through my affiliate link. So all of this is an affiliate. Let's make that. This is an affiliate funnel. And there's more than one kind. So, like, again, this is just a type, a very simple type, really. It's a 1, 2, 3 is probably a pretty common number of pages. And once it's together, all of this hooking up is a lot of what I've done over the years has helped people connect the dots and get all these components in place so that when they're sending traffic and when their visitor arrives, and they say yes to whatever it is that they've offered or whatever it is we've concocted, then this isn't broken. They can actually go through and be converted and be served. So conversions are about serving people. So if your link is broken here, they're only going to get here and they're going to be so frustrated. And they're going to be pissed off at you because you've wasted their time. Or they're going to be, even if they're not angry, it's like a demotion. It's like a demarcation of oh, well, that person doesn't quite have their thing pulled together. I don't know where to go from here. So you always want people to be able to flow. You're looking for flow. And this is going to flow, and the email's going to go to them, and it's going to send them back to this page, and then it's going to tell them that once they go through that page, they're going to get to have the chance to go here and why they would want to. And that's what all of these do. They revisit whatever it is that they basically said was something that they're struggling with at this point. So all of this stuff is meant to serve whatever it is that they have said, yes, I could use some help with that, or yes, I'm interested in that, finding a solution to that problem. And that's what affiliate marketing is about. It's about building an email list and collecting the name, creating a value proposition, so something that's useful, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. A checklist for the 7 things I always do when I set up my YouTube channel, or the 10 things I wish I'd known when I was first starting out as an affiliate, or whatever it is that. So all of this, here's the other part of this. It's a little bit of a chicken and egg thing, a little bit. So you're looking to serve an audience something. You don't quite know necessarily what it is you're selling, or you know what you're selling, but you don't know what's going to get them the right folks to that place, because you don't want everybody to come to that place. You really only want the people who are going to be happy being in that place, not the ones who are going to be griping, not the ones who are going to be confused. To the point of confusion is fine, but not to the point people who are going to be like really not in the right place for whatever reason. I mean, there's lots of reasons people end up not in the right place, and most of the time it's because the marketing has been shitty, to be honest. I've been talking to my daughter, the one who's doing the internship here. I think that's enough for the moment. I've been talking to my daughter, the one who's been doing the internship here, who started the internship here today, about there's a political there's an election coming up. So there's a lot of political signage going on right now, and one of the items is really confusing if you are not paying attention. It's probably confusing even if you are paying attention, because I tried to get clearer on it last night just by reading news articles and stuff, and I still don't know what's going on. But the signage, which is as far as most people get, as far as understanding certain, I don't know, say most people, a majority of the population probably get their information from the signage that is abundant. And there's this one that's about, it's a referendum that's about the energy company that's here. And one of them says vote yes and get lower bills. And the other one says vote no, and the other people are lying, basically, is what the 2 signs say. These are the 2 signs that are outside. And it's completely, it's not serving, neither one is serving the community, the people that they're supposedly marketing to, because they're going to get to the polls and not actually know what their own position is on the topic. The ones who are saying that your bills will be lower are actually, they're not lying, because it's a possibility that your bills will be lower, but it's also a possibility that your bills will be higher, is what I've taken away from reading the stuff last night. The people who are saying no, are really making it a them and us thing instead of being clear on the topic. And so the people who get to the polls and don't have a clue are not going to be able to, it's just going to be a potluck outcome. So, and with all of our marketing, so this is all about marketing, even in politics, we want people to be coming through and flowing because they're supposed to be there and because the information is useful to them. And the ones that aren't, we really want them filtered out, not only because if they get to some place where they're going to be interacting with you, will it take up a lot more of your energy and time, but just from a super practical perspective, you get 10,000 people through here who are wrong into an autoresponder system, it costs you more. You're going to be paying to have people on that list who don't belong there for whatever reason. So, yeah, this is a basic affiliate funnel, and I've never ever, it's been at least 10 years that I've been doing this stuff, and I've never ever drawn it out on a whiteboard, so I thought I'd take the opportunity. I hope it turns out, and I hope it was some light bulb of moment for you, or if it wasn't, and you haven't already done your own version of this, find yourself a library if you haven't got any place else, or even if you do, because I do, and I still needed the library. And they gave me markers, and they gave me an eraser. I just have to return them to the front desk. Yeah, find yourself, if you know this stuff, if this wasn't a revelation, and even if you understood it now enough to maybe draw a flow chart for yourself, it's actually worth doing yourself, because you'll remember it better and you'll be able to explain it better going forward. So give it a try. I hope this helped. Talk to you later.